It was 4 p.m. when we reached the edge of the backward forest. The trees were so tall that they blocked the sunlight, making everything look like twilight. My friend was leading the way, his heavy boots crunching on the dry leaves. We walked for hours, crossing cold streams and narrow paths that felt like they hadn't been used in years. Finally, the tree began to thin out, and we stopped into a massive open field. It was beautifully, yet prominently silent. No birds chirping, no wind, just us. We decided to pitch our tent right in the center. We were tired and hungry. As we sat down to eat, I noticed the first drop of rain in my hand. I don't know then that our nightmare was about to begin. We spent about 30 minutes just talking and laughing, losing track of time in the beautiful meadow. The air became pleasant, and for a moment it felt like the perfect getaway. But then the wind changed. It was not pleasant anymore. It was cold, sharp, and biting. Slowly, the drizzling turning into a heavy downpour. Within minutes, the sky exploded with thunder. The storm was brutal. It trapped out tent from the ground like it was made of paper. Everything, our food, our gear, it was all gone. Run! My friend shouted over the roaring wind. We stumbled through the mud, blended the rain, desperately searching for cover. Just as we caught go any feature. A dark shape appeared throughout the mist. It was a cabin, small, wooden, and standing perfectly still against the edge of the forest. We reached the porch, drenched and shivering. We don't care who owned it. We just needed to survive. We pushed the heavy wooden door open. It groaned, and long, low sound that reached throughout the silent room. The air inside was thick with the smell of the drop wood and something metallic, like old blood. My friend clicked on his flashlight. The beam cut through the darkness, revealing a room frozen in time. There was a rocking chair in the corner, moving slightly, as if someone had just stood up from it. On the dusty table lay a rusted hunting knife and a single half-eaten candle that looked decade old. My friend looked at the wall, and Lem whispered, his voice trembling. Scratches, thousands of them, deep chief marks covered every inch of the wood. from the floor of the playroom. It don't look like someone was trying to get in. It looking like something was trying to get out. Suddenly, a loud bang came from the roof. Thud, thud, thud. Something heavy was punching right above our hand. Outside the storm was the it peak. The rain was hitting the roof like a thousand trumpets and the wind. It sounded like a dying man's scream, but throughout was the shape of the rain. We heard something else, a heavy, wet footstep circling the caving. We stood frozen in the center of the room. My friend held the flashlight, but his hand was shaking so hard the beam was dancing on the wall. Scratch, scratch. A long sharp clip dragged across the wooden door. It was slow, disheveled, as if testing the strength of the wood. Suddenly the sound stopped. Silence. The only thing we could hear was our rapid breathing. It is gone, my friend whispered. But then, bang! Something slammed into the back window, cracking the old glass. It was playing with us, moving from one side of other, waiting for us to make a mistake. We backed away from the window, hunted throughout in the corner. We know whatever was out there. It was not an animal. The horror felt like air. We sat in the dark corner, standing at the door until the first light of dawn cracked through the shutter. The storm had died down. No more wind, no more rain, just a heavy, suffocating silence. We slowly stood up, our bones aching from the cold. My friend reached for the door handle, his hand trembling as the turning the door. We stepped outside into the fresh morning air. The forest looked peaceful, but the ground told a different story. Around the cabin there were massive tracks in the mud. They were not human, and they were not any animal I don't ever seen. For claws each as long as a hunting knife. Deep into the earth it had circled us all night, waiting. We don't wait for anything. We run. We left everything behind and then don't stop until we reach the main road. To this day, we don't know that what outside that cabin. We don't know what was the watching us from the shadow. But one thing is for sure, we never to out alone into the dark wood anymore. Some scratches are meant to stay in the dark. If you enjoy this nightmare, hit the subscribe button and share your own story in the comment. I am listening your story. Good night. Be careful.